to power through the streets. Family or not, there's rules you could beach. Ever since a kid, I saw things I shouldn't see. I didn't choose this life, but the life chose me. Capo, we rise to power through the streets. Family or not, there's rules you could beach. Ever since a kid, I saw things I shouldn't see. I didn't choose this life, but the life chose me. This thing of ours, earn and take orders from the dons. It's a chess game, we got the kings with them pawns. Greasy fan, brew strong. Michael's out for revenge for those who did him wrong. Live life by the code, power, respect. This family over family, never know who's next. On the rise, people stepped on and stepped over. Power struggles, go to war and send soldiers. No camo, suits and Italian loafers. Leave your head in the spaghetti, tipped off from the hostess. We didn't ask for this the life that chose us. Never find you, I got a guy with bulldozers. Let's go. Capo, we rise to power through the streets.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Jimmy Barbarise. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Staxx?
How are you? Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me, man. It's an honor.
So you're involved with a big movie, or it's more like a series and all that, but we'll get into that a little later. But do you want to introduce yourself to the people and say where you were born and raised and your name and all that?
Absolutely, yeah. I love that opportunity. So yeah, Jimmy Barbarise, was born in New York. I was raised on Long Island in the humble town of Centereach, so which is Suffolk County, and great upbringing, man. Great way to Long Island in the 80s was just an awesome time to be raised. As you can see by my Islander banners behind me, we had a really good time with sports then as well. So currently now I live in the Tampa Bay area, and that's kind of where I'm at. So
you brought the New York vibe down there, right, to Florida?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure did. What brought me down here was I'm very much into the youth and sports. So I opened a bunch of youth sports franchises. They're called I9 Sports. And the founder is actually from Long Island. So I kind of followed the path on coming down here.
So what is that? Like it's a place for kids to go and play sports?
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like an inclusive little league for everything, like flag football, soccer, basketball, all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Good stuff.
So what was your early upbringing like in New York before you left?
So the first couple of years I lived in Mount Vernon, New York, which is just a little bit north of the Bronx. And from that was all through the 70s. And then my family moved out to the island, Long Island. And, middle-class town. I had an older brother, a couple of younger sisters. And it was just a great time to grow up on Long Island during those times. And I wouldn't change it for anything.
Did you have acting in your peripheral vision back then?
Yeah, so here's a funny story to that. I still have it in my yearbook, my sixth grade yearbook. I was 11 years old, and I used to write alternate endings to The Godfather at 11 years old. And my teacher, who I convinced on putting on an end of the school year play. We didn't have that in elementary school back then. And I convinced her in doing it. And I wrote an alternate ending to The Godfather, and we act the whole thing out. Brought kids, parents. And in my yearbook, it says from her, Jimmy, I love your writing. I'm going to see you in the movies one day. Less Godfather, more writing.
That's awesome, though. So you had an idea you wanted to do it back then?
Absolutely, yeah, I sure did. And just being an Italian American, we have a lot of pride in our heritage. Yeah, and that kind of drew me as a little kid. That's when VHS first came out, and my dad would watch The Godfather constantly, and I'd be at his hip, just so intrigued at 11. And I'm just from there, I just caught the bug. I mean, how could you not love what Al Pacino did in that series, right? So absolutely.
And then when the Goodfellas and then all those other movies, it's like really captivates you.
It really does. And, then it kind of, then you're in your 20s and you're catching on to those, in your 30s. It's just electrifying, and it's really a lot, a lot of that stuff is true stories, which is amazing. And
even some of the Sopranos stuff is true stories.
I know, and that's, I mean, just to be in the same breath with the Sopranos, best series ever. I don't care what you do or what you put out there, you can't touch that.
Yeah, I'm going to Vinny Pastore's birthday party this weekend. I bought a VIP ticket. Yeah, man, I can't miss that one.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. That's fantastic.
So, how old were you when you left New York?
I was in my 30s. My kids were young, so I wanted to do it while they were young, and just to give them an opportunity, because unfortunately, New York isn't the way it is today from when I was growing up. So I wanted to give my kids an opportunity to be able to do something, and it all worked out, man. They're all flourishing. I'm blessed, so it was a good move.
Yeah, I was talking to Lou earlier, and we were talking about how Philly is not the same at all. It's crazy because I see the news every day, and it's something different. Things I have never seen before, and I'm like, wow, it's like crazy things.
Yeah, it's the reason why Florida is so populated now.
I mean, but a lot of people run to Florida, so a lot of the bad people run to Florida too.
You do, right? You do,
yeah. Like so it's like I don't know, hit or miss, I guess, down there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's changing as well. The culture's changing here as well. It's not what it was 15 years ago when I came down. So it's unfortunate.
So what was your first acting experience?
So I got to give a lot of credit to Willie DeMeo from Gravesend. Gave me my first shot. So good dude, really good guy. Gave me my first shot on Gravesend season 2. I was part of his crew. I was part of Benny Z's crew. And he gave me a shot, man. I worked for him in Miami for a couple of weeks. Then I went up to Brooklyn, worked for him for a week. That was my really first acting gig. He gave me my breakthrough for that. So shout out to him for that. I appreciate it.
How was it? Was it nerve-wracking being the first time? Because I'm starting to get into it a little bit, and I'm thinking about starting to act.
Yeah, well, it's good to start in the background.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a really big production. So I got to see so much, and I got to see everything. And then after that, I got into like some smaller stuff, some small shorts, and which brought me into what I'm doing now, which is really big. But that wasn't nerve-wracking, man. Everyone on that set, even though it was large as it was, yeah, it is, Willie. It was really, everyone was
Joseph
cool.
D'Onofrio too.
Yeah, dude, what a great guy. He took some time out to talk to me too. Bruce Sosha and Chris Mormanda, those guys, ace. I was a background guy. They treated me like I was first class. Yeah. So yeah, man, it was really good. It was a great experience.
So did that kind of helped you pivot into what you're doing now with the Capo?
Absolutely. And it was all because of COVID, man. Like businesses were shut down. I didn't have a lot going on. And the joke was this, unfortunately in life, sometimes it takes a tragic loss for you to be able to do something that you like a wake-up call, Yeah. And about 6 years ago, unfortunately, I lost my brother. He died of cancer.
Sorry
and
for
a
your
conversation,
loss, man.
I appreciate that. And me and him were, inseparable. And on his deathbed, unfortunately, he gave me the advice. He said, brother, I'm his baby brother. He said, life's too short, man. I'm here in the bed, and there's so many things I wish I would have done. There's no tomorrow, right? So it sparked me, man. I always wanted to act. This is something I always wanted to do, and that kind of pushed me to get where I am now.
Yeah, it caught my eye when I saw pieces of it. I was like, wow, man, that looks good. Looks intriguing. So you get done with working with William DeMeo, and so what's the process for you starting to work on this? Did you have it written? Was it something that you were working on for a long time and then went into it, or how did you go about?
Yeah, man, there it is. Capo Rise to Power, man. It's awesome. So I did a couple of short movies. I did a couple of independent movies, and I was actually approached from my work on that to star in this. And it was a great feeling because I've only been in the industry so short. But we had a meeting of the minds, man. It took a year to write it. And I was part of it. I was part of that process of writing it. And people that will know me, once they see the episodes come out, they'll know the stuff that I put in there.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's kind of how it went about. And then we got Vault Video involved. And let me tell you something about Ashley DeGrady. She is ace. This director is top of the line. Her and her crew are amazing. And wait till you see everyone waits to see the show come out. It's gonna be really, really great.
So do you want to explain to the people what the premise of the series is?
Sure. So it takes place in Long Island, New York, right? I can't give too much, Staxx, but I'm going to tell you this. And when I use these shows, they are just for genre. You can't even compare it to the shows I'm going to use, just so people get the understanding about it, right? So it's kind of like Sopranos meets Dexter with a pinch of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So it's a good trifold. It's not your quintessential, hey, mafia movie, head of the five families. You go to someone in the street with a baseball bat. That's not this. Although I love that. How many times can you really do that? Really? Yeah. So this is completely different. People, I mean, of all ages, besides kids, of all ages, they could really relate to this because it has strong female women in there. It has strong men. It has different groups that young adults and older people will be able to relate to, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the street stuff too, right?
Yes, a lot of street stuff too. And then it goes back. I'll give a little bit of a hint. It goes back to some old school stuff in the old country in Italy that kind of carries on to the United States. So it's really, really intriguing. People that you've never seen something like this before.
Yeah, I think the world needs something new and fresh that's different, not like every other like gangster movie.
Right.
They need something different.
And that's exactly where I was going with it. Like I said, those things are all great, man. Jersey, New York, five families, union business, money, that is, everyone's done that. And when you do that, the problem is you always get compared to The Sopranos and The Godfather. And how can you compare to that?
Yeah. Or Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, absolutely. I mean, you just can't do it. So this takes us a different twist. So I if you want to kind of relate it, I use also an example. I don't know if you've watched. I'm a big fan of Cobra Kai, right?
I haven't seen it.
So it's the Karate Kid. It's the Karate Kid, but modern day.
Yeah, the newer one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what it does is it pulls from the old school people and the new school people, and that's what Capo Rise to Power does.
It's gonna be awesome, man. I can't wait till it comes out. So how many have you recorded so far? And what's the process like to get it out to the people?
So yeah, right now, episode 1 is done. It's filmed. We're about to kick off episode 2. We have 6 in the pipeline. We're ready to rock and roll. And right now, we're just dealing with a lot of streaming networks that want it, which is a good feeling. So just a matter of time. We're gonna have a big red carpet event. I'd love for you to come. We're gonna have a big red carpet event down here in South Florida sometime over the holidays.
I would definitely love to come down, man.
Yeah, we'll have you.
Yeah, when we get off, I'll tell you about some other stuff I got working on. It's pretty big. I'm like, I'm shocked that I'm even a part of it.
Awesome, good stuff.
So, when you started working on this, was this the only project you had? Like, what's some of the other things that you've been working on besides this?
Yeah, so I did a couple of independent films. I did this film called Gianna. Absolutely loved it. It takes place in Baltimore, the Maryland area. It's actually it's a rom-com, and it's a romantic comedy. And I play the girl that this Italian girl. I play her protective uncle. And Bella Moon Films, great production, a lot of fun. I was working on that for a while just before I got involved in this.
And
this is very time consuming, man.
It's like takes up everything from you,
everything.
right?
We're putting in 16-hour days. We're working through the nights. It's a lot. People don't realize how taxing acting in a TV series is.
And then with COVID and everything else, you got to wear masks for certain days and certain. It's insane. Even just traveling somewhere is insane.
It is. And this cast, I got to tell you, this cast is I've been on a ton of sets, A-list to C-list. This cast is absolutely amazing. It is one big Capo family. The synergy, we love each other. We have each other's back. I'm telling you, we're Lou Silva, Vinny Prestigiacomo, Matteo, Antonio, right? Roxana Sepulveda, Victoria Legensfield, these Tony Faz, these people are just amazing. And we also got some retro. We got some flashback scenes of childhood stuff where, that really is going to draw people in for some old school stuff. And we even got some kids, Staxx. These kids can act. Oh my goodness! Wait till the audience sees these kids that play young Michael and Apollonia.
Yeah.
I mean, really, these kids can turn it on. I'm really impressed with them.
Yeah, if you send me some clips, I could throw a couple clips in and show the people what you're talking about.
Okay.
And so what kind of advice would you have for the kid out there who wants to be an actor or they want to get into directing or anything? What's the advice that you would give them?
The big thing about it is this. Nowadays, you don't need to live in Hollywood anymore. Those days are done. We live in a streaming world, right? So I would tell someone, don't be so fixated on I got to move out to LA to be something, right? That's not the case anymore. The other thing too is you're never too old to start. Just look at me. It took the loss of someone I love to wake up to do that. So I would tell them just pursue it. No matter how young or how old you are, man, just follow it, chase that dream, because you get one shot on this planet, man. You got to make it count.
It's true, man. That's why I moved full steam ahead. I was in and out of prison for a long time. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and my life was just passing by. I wasn't living, and it's no way to live, man. I can't ever go back to that,
Yeah, man. Well, I got much respect for you, man. It takes a lot of courage to say something like that, Staxx.
Yeah, I mean, I got no choice but to move forward and make a good life for me and my family,
It's awesome, man. Well, God bless you.
Thank you. So what's the next plan for you guys? Like once Capo comes out, what's next for you?
Yeah, we're hoping to punch into season 2. This is we got a lot in the pipeline. So we're ready to run with this. This has potential to run for many seasons, and that's all our focus has been on. You got to keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah, is there can people see the first episode?
They will be able to see it during the holidays. Yep, it was
so
the first
around Christmas time.
Yeah, right around then. We're hoping, or early 2023, it'll be out. And we're gonna have everyone's gonna get a taste of that first episode before it explodes.
Yeah, that'll be awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have trailers and stuff like that, right?
Yep, trailers are gonna be released late next month.
I can't wait, man. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Yeah, and I want to get some other people who are involved in the movie on, get them interviewed, and then once I have everybody that has the interviews done, we'll do a show with all of them on a live,
Absolutely. Yeah. We'd absolutely love that. And, once we end here, man, I'll give you a couple of names to follow up with.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited for the future, man. You got a lot of good stuff going. And I think you're a definite a good example for people like me to look up to.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. And I appreciate you having me on this show. Heard wonderful things about you. So when I heard that you wanted to interview, I'm like, absolutely. Count me in.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we go?
You know what? First and foremost, my Savior, Jesus Christ. That's who gets the loudest shout out, man. Because without this, nothing is possible. That's really what it comes down to, you know? And of course, my beautiful wife and my 4 kids, love them. Got to shout them out.
Yeah, man. Well, I hope Capo is a great success, man. I have a feeling it's gonna be, and I look forward to seeing it in the future and a lot more stuff coming from you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me, buddy.
Thanks for taking the time, man.
All right.
Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time. Thanks, man.
See you, buddy.
Capo, we rise to power through the streets. Family or not, there's rules you can beach. Ever since a kid, I saw things I shouldn't see. I didn't choose this life, but the life chose me. Capo, we rise to power through the streets. Family or not, there's rules you can beach. Ever since a kid, I saw things I shouldn't see. I didn't choose this life, but the life chose me. This thing of ours, earn and take orders from the dons. It's a chess game, we got the kings with the pawns. Greasy fan, brew strong. Michael's out for revenge for those who did him wrong. Live life by the code, power, respect. This family over family, never know who's next. On the rise, people stepped on and stepped over. Power struggles, go to war and send soldiers. No camo, suits and Italian loafers. Leave your head in the spaghetti, tipped off from the hostess. We didn't ask for this the life that chose us. Never find you, I got a guy with bulldozers. Let's go. Capo, we rise to power through the streets.